y'all. It's that time again. It's Math with Mrs. Peters, the crazy cat lady of Hiram High School, and today's topic is solving a system of equations. Now, the system we're going to solve is a linear equation with a quadratic equation. And I want to require you to remember that this anchor chart hangs in my classroom on how to solve a system of equations by substitution, a specific manner of substitution, where we set two equations equal to each other because we know their y values are equal. So with that said, let's look at what a solution to a quadratic and a linear equation can look like. It's going to look like where two things they cross. Now, they might cross in two places, or should I draw a line that looks like this? They might only cross in one place, right? But they're guaranteed that they might even not cross at all. So I have either 2, 1, or no solutions when dealing with a system of equations where one is quadratic and one is linear. So let's look at some example problems. Here's an example problem I wrote up. Right? So with that said, let's go ahead and try to solve it. Now I'm going to solve it the same way I did on that anchor chart by setting my two equations equal to each other. So I have x squared plus 1 is equal to x plus 1. All right, now, because it's quadratic, I move everything, and I do mean everything, I move it all to the right. So I'm going to subtract x. Okay, that's going to give me x squared minus x plus 1 equals 1. I'm still not in my quadratic form of giving everything to the left and leaving my 0 on the right, so I'm going to subtract 1. And now I'm going to get x squared minus x plus 0 equals 0. And I can take out this piece right here. What's really cool is that this factors. It says that x times x minus 1 is equal to 0. And I can set those two factors equal to 0 and find the x value of where my quadratic crosses. So x equals 0 or x minus 1 is equal to 0. And I solve this one, which gives me two values of x. Now, we have to plug in both the x values into the equation, into one of the two equations, and find the y values, because remember, these are ordered pairs. So you're going to have to go back up to the top of the page. We're going to notice that this one here is probably the easiest one to find my y values with, because it's linear. So I am going to use, let me get out, I don't know, I feel like that color. Okay, I'm going to say that y, oops, equals, come on in, I just screwed up my video. No, it was me. Rolling my. So I'm going to use my linear equation that says y equals x plus 1. All right, let's extend my page. And I'm going to plug in two versions of my x. So I have y equals 0 plus 1, and I have y equals 1 plus 1. Okay, so when x is 0, y equals 1. So my ordered pair here is 0, 1. And here, okay, y equals 2. So my ordered pair is 1, 2. And these are my solutions right here. So this is a case where I cross my quadratic cross my linear equation in two places. Now, this one's a little bit more tricky, but not any harder. Same concept. We're going to set the two equations equal to each other. Okay, so I have x squared plus 2x plus 5 is equal to negative 2x plus 1. I have a quadratic, so we move everything to the right. Excuse me, to the left. So I'm going to add 2x, and I am going to subtract 1 so that I get x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now, you can use the quadratic formula to solve this quadratic, or you might notice that it factors. Okay, but I'm going to use the quadratic formula just to remind y'all that how this works. So a equals 1, b equals 4, c equals 4. So my quadratic formula becomes minus 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Remember, this is what x is equal to. So x is going to come out to be negative 2. Now, I can plug this back into my equations. And of course, I'm going to do what I've done in the past. Okay? I'm going to use the linear equation to plug back into and see if, guys, notice, there's only one value of x. This means I have that situation where my quadratic just touches in one point. Right? So I'm going to use that equation up there, negative 2x plus 1. So y equals negative 2x plus 1. All right? And I'm going to say y equals negative 2. And I'm going to take this 2 right here. And I'm going to stick it inside there. And I'm going to find the value of y. In this case, the value of y is equal to 4 plus 1, which equals 5. So my ordered pair for my solution here is negative 2 and 5. That's the solution. If I'd had two values of x up here, I would have had two values of y because I'd had two ordered pairs. That's the lesson. Y'all write down your questions, bring them to class with you, do your very best. I have great faith in you. Bring your questions to class or to tutoring, and I'll answer them. Have a good day. Talk to you later, and bye-bye.